Hello and welcome to The Great Beyond, an Is This Good companion pod where we follow up on last week's episode, answer listener questions, and catch up with each other. The person I'm catching up with is, of course, Jason Doyle.
Hello.
JD, thanks for coming. Oh, I stepped on your line, your famous line.
That's all right. It's all right.
You think you're the first person to say hello as a on a podcast?
As a greeting? I just saw a meme or a short talking about how recent hello is in the vernacular of
Go on,
English.
I'm intrigued.
Well, apparently it was Graham Bell or whoever was it Alexander Graham Bell, whoever it was. They wanted you to
AGB.
Yeah, they wanted
the notorious AGB.
They wanted the greeting when you answer the telephone to be ahoy. And then, somebody convinced him to make it hello, just to be different. I don't know why. Ahoy is way more fun. In fact, half the time when it's Rachel calling me, I always say, ahoy, hoy, on the phone, a la Mr. Burns. But
very cool.
I know. She fucking hates it, too. I don't know why. The more irritated...
You don't say, ta?
No, that's how I end the conversation. TTFN, ta-ta.
I think I say once on the show that if you answer the phone, if someone answers the phone and they say ta and they're not British, then you're allowed to just hang up on them.
Yeah, absolutely. Wait, is that a thing? Who says they say?
I've heard people say ta, like
to answer the phone.
Maybe it's more of a Canadian thing.
Really?
Especially, I had not experienced it in Quebec, in Montreal growing up, but when I moved to Ontario, I did experience it.
So you call somebody up and they go, ta?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yes.
I have never experienced that.
Well, I pray you don't. I pray you don't, good sir.
I would 100% hang up. 100% hang up.
Ahoy. You're saying that everyone was greeting each other. Like, obviously that comes from, I shouldn't say obviously, but I'm guessing that comes from the classic seafaring. You're on the ship, you see someone.
That's right.
Ahoy, mateys.
Ahoy.
But then that was like transferred into the landlubbers. Both the seamen and the landlubbers were all saying ahoy.
Honestly, when you greet somebody in person, I mean, I don't know if people were saying hello. I don't even know if this is real. This was like, it was in the context of this song, hello, my baby, hello, my darling, hello, my ragtime girl. Apparently, that was like making fun of this new slang of hello. Like, according to this fucking TikTok that I watched. This is just me lying in bed.
TikTok,
look at
right?
what.
Yeah, you're not reading.
Hey, did you know this? The hello? I don't know. So...
Speaking of watching TikToks in bed, so one of my friends was in Montreal. I guess it was. It would have been for the comedy festival, for Just for Laughs,
right?
Which you were asking me about. I guess you didn't end up going.
I didn't end up going. We were looking at. We'll get to it, but carry on.
Okay. So there was someone who was doing a live performance, like on a big outdoor stage, free. Okay. Montreal does a lot of these for the jazz festival, for the comedy festival. There's like, tens of thousands of people. And he's taking a video from the crowd, and he's on the Jumbotron. You see someone like run across the stage, like not fully streaked, but shirt off.
Okay.
And I wake up in bed and I watch it, and then I see my friend Charles respond, "Hey, is that Bert Kreischer running across the stage?"
Yeah.
And then I write back, "It really looks like Bert Kreischer." And then someone else writes back, "Yeah, it's fucking Bert Kreischer. They say it in the video." And I'm like, now we're supposed to be listening to these with sound on? I'm sorry, okay? My girlfriend is sleeping next to me.
Yeah.
But haven't we all gotten used to just watching things with no sound because there's captions everywhere now?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But we're missing all this context is what I'm saying.
I know. So turn it up. I mean, it'll save me from doing the captions on our shorts that we do. This is the worst part.
Well, because seeing everything brilliant you've said written there in black and white text, that's the word. To me, that's the best part.
I just realized how stupid it is.
You did make a caption mistake in the video we just posted.
Yeah, I know.
That's okay. We're not here to discuss that.
Well,
when I read the mistake, I went, "Hello."
Here's the thing, though. it's AI creates the captions, and then you're just correcting the AI. So I think you'd make less mistakes. I would make less mistakes if I was just manually typing them out, transcribing it myself.
Oh, speaking of AI, maybe this is a good time to pitch ahead to something. So last week we talked about how I wasn't able to see any of the movies that are part of the discourse now because of the actor strike and the writer's strike. You can't see a movie in LA right now. Just they're all full.
Yeah.
So I bought tickets for Oppenheimer for not this Friday, next Friday. I've never bought tickets.
Wow.
I bought tickets like 13 days in advance. I've never done that before. Okay, so I'm going to see that. I'm going to see Barbie tonight.
Wow.
And I did see Mission Impossible 7 Dead Reckoning, which I know you've seen. So we are going to talk about that, but we're going to talk about that at the very end of the show.
Yeah.
Just in case you haven't seen it and you don't want spoilers, you can shut it off. But even if you haven't seen it, it's not going to ruin your appreciation of the movie. Oh, and that's why I said speaking of AI, because it's a heavy AI movie.
Very much so. Very much so.
So we will be talking about that. So anyways, ahoy, JD.
Ahoy, Matt.
Did anything good or not good happen to you this week?
Well, you mentioned the Montreal Jazz Festival and me asking you about, not the Jazz Festival, the Just for Laughs Festival. And I had asked you.
Didn't realize you were such a Dave Brubeck guy.
Who? Yeah.
Hubrick?
Dave Hubrick? I asked you weeks ago about the comedy festival for Laughs Festival in Montreal because Lincoln and I were going to go because not to the festival, but to look at schools. And this is the good thing that happened. And it's a bittersweet thing because my oldest son turned 17 this week. 17 years old. He's 6 months older than
edge of 17.
Yeah.
Is he listening to that song a lot the day before he turned 17?
I don't know if he's ever heard that song, to be honest.
Well, it's too late for him now. He's already 17.
He's already there. So yeah, we're going to look at like McGill, your alma mater, Concordia.
Go Stingers. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, Stingers, really?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Anyway, that trip got pushed to Thanksgiving.
Got Post Malone.
Got Post Malone, yeah. So, I mean, that's the big thing. The big thing this week was my little baby, my little guy.
Yeah.
He's taller than me, and he's going to college next year, and it's freaking me out.
So are you eventually, is he interested in Canadian school still? You're still going to go?
In Thanksgiving, we're going to look at some Canadian schools, but he's also, he's looking at Georgia schools as well.
Okay.
So,
are you going to put your finger on the scale at all?
Not at all. I'm not.
Okay. Then Rachel, that's another story.
That's a whole other thing.
Well, where does the family want him to go if you had your druthers?
I mean, the best scenario would be, and I don't want to jinx anything for him, but he's got his eye on Georgia Tech.
Okay. Tough
to get in. But he had a really good SAT score, or SAT they call it. And he's got decent marks, so you never know. And it's in town, right? Like it's a great school. He'd still be eligible. There's scholarships and stuff involved, but he has to be in Georgia. So it's Georgia Tech. He's not interested in Georgia State, which is also in the city. UGA is in Athens. Also very hard to get into. They have this thing here called this Hope Scholarship. I don't know if you've heard of it, but any student that gets above a certain grade point average, they get heavily subsidized if they go to a state school. So it is very hard to get into Georgia schools. But again, we'll see. So Georgia Tech would be the number one. Even if he went and lived on campus, we'd see him every weekend kind of thing. And then for me, if he doesn't go there...
Would he want to see you?
Exactly. I'd like to think so.
Well, that's my question. Like, do you feel like he wants to go away and really chart his own course?
Oh, yes. Yes, he does.
Okay. So then why not UGA? I mean, obviously very different than Georgia Tech. Like, one is a giant state school where like football is king and, small town life kind of thing. And Georgia Tech is like right across from Turner Broadcasting where we used to work, and it's right next to a highway.
Right. Yeah.
And those are the only two things about it. I don't know why it's so popular. Their brochure is just a picture of the highway with every race imaginable on the highway.
That's right.
And then a picture of the Turner campus with like our poster up when it was up there from
That's right.
2016.
I mean, UGA is definitely in the mix, but again, it's very hard to get into. But so is Georgia Tech. I don't know. All of these schools are hard to get into these days. And I don't know. I kind of like the idea of him going back to Toronto, living in the city. I think you get like a more of a city feel if he's in Toronto, and we have family there still, and that would be an easy thing. Plus, a little easier on the pocketbook, if I'm being honest.
Let's go to Canada, Lincoln. Honestly, I think you're gonna really like it. I think you're gonna reconnect with your homeland. I think he's gonna be walking through the streets. He's gonna be handing over his ID at a bar, and people are gonna be like, "You ain't related to Terrence Jason Doyle, are you?" People talk like that in Toronto.
Yeah, they absolutely.
Actually, they'd be like, "Oh, sorry, so sorry to disturb you, mister, but you wouldn't happen to be related to the old Doyle clan, would you? From down there on the east side near Degrassi Street?"
You'd be like, "Why, yes."
And you would be, and of course, the second he crosses the border and his passport gets stamped, he'd be like, "Why, yes, I do." Oh no, wait, now I went back into my accent work is not the strongest. All right, anyways, so we're putting this under the not good category. Not good. You didn't get to go to the comedy festival.
Yeah.
You're sad about your baby leaving the nest.
Yeah. It's going by too fast. This week has been like a retrospective week. We interviewed our man Cam Stewart yesterday. That's coming out on Monday.
Way to let the cat out of the bag, JD.
You already did on the Discord, didn't you?
The Discord is for the P-Hounds. They get behind-the-scenes information.
You are going to tell them by the end of this anyway.
Yeah, I was going to tell everyone by the end of this podcast. Don't worry.
But that was a blast from the past. We had Larry, our beloved camera person from the Starters days, on No Bunts this week, and he was weaving tales of working at Wendy's and coming up through the ranks in the camera op world. It's just... it's been a very retrospective week, looking back and getting all melancholy. So
a lot of nostalgia.
We're
actually I have a question about nostalgia for you, but it's towards the end of the show.
Okay.
Right after I tell you that Cam Stewart's going to be on next week.
Can't wait.
All right. Well, besides seeing a movie and then buying tickets for other movies. That's barely all I've had time for this week. That's a full-time job right now.
Oh, what's going on over there?
Well, I did get new internet this week.
Oh, okay. You look
much
better.
To you're thrilled. All I want to say about it is, you have that option to get self-install where they'll just mail you the router.
Yes.
Or you can select a service call, and that's more money, obviously.
Right.
So I figure 41 years old. At this point, I think I can connect a router. Though I was concerned because I've just been used to there being a router that is the Wi-Fi router. The modem and the Wi-Fi router is one box.
Yeah.
The good people at Spectrum Communications, they've got a modem box and a Wi-Fi router box.
Yeah.
So you got two. Okay, but I was like, I feel like I could still do this.
You do have a degree in radio and television arts.
Yeah, well, do I have a degree in internet, JD? The internet didn't exist.
Pretty sure it did, but go on.
Okay, sorry. Yes, Al Gore's ARPANET was up and running since the late 70s. But I wasn't privy to that. I wasn't read into those confidential communications. Anyway, so I had the show where you were yelling at me, get better internet. Your internet at your girlfriend's place sucks.
Yeah.
So I was getting it just in time for a show. I get it. And I'm like, okay, I read the instructions quickly. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to do the show. JD's going to be so proud of me. I look around. What do you think? Something's amiss. This is cable internet.
Yes. No cable.
And there's no cable in this apartment. There's no cable. I've lived in probably 20... No, that's an exaggeration. But I've probably lived in 10 apartments in my lifetime. I never once had this issue where there's no coaxial cable. That's how you could tell I studied television.
Yeah.
coaxial cable. Kids, in the biz, we call it a coax, okay? You don't say the eel cable. Just say, there's no coax here. As I said to the guy when he came, he was very impressed.
Oh, so somebody had to come.
Well, okay, so I go, well, there's no cable here. So I say, Jill, can you text the landlord and say, where's the coax? And he writes back, I don't know.
How old is the building? What, it was Gen Z building over there? Like,
yeah, this building's busting, JD. Wow. No cap. So Gen Z construction.
Wow, it cut the cord early over there.
It is new. I think what it is like a flip. So there's like 4 small little bungalows, kind of similar to my last property, but laid out differently. And I think they flipped them.
Okay.
So there's no cable. So I don't know. They might have forgot to install the cable. And so
or they didn't bother. There's probably
they figured no one wants cable.
Yeah, well, there's no worth. It's not worth it.
No. So call the guy. The guy comes, and this is just my little observation, is that when you are the guy that comes to install the internet at someone's house, it's like a real feast or famine. Like, they're walking in, half the time it's like an old lady being like, I don't know how to plug in the router. And it's just like literally a guy putting a plug into a wall.
Right, yeah.
And then he's like, all right, my job here is done. Or in my case, when he walks in, he's like, okay, yeah, where's the box? I'll just install it. I'm like, yeah, man, there's no coax. He goes, there's no coax? I go, there's no coax. He's like, you're telling me there's no coax here? It's like, because I could smell No. Imagine he could smell it.
He's got a black light out looking for the coax.
He's like, I could smell the remnants of Comedy Central in the air. And MTV2. So he, like, of course, does't believe me. He looks around and is like, oh, there's no coax. And then he does a deep sigh. A sigh so deep that it was as if he was saying to me, you sure you want internet? I'm like, because now he's got to go to the trunk, get a ladder, figure out where there is a cable somewhere near these apartments, drag it through, set up the ladder in another place, drag it through, staple it to the wall outside. Then he's like, can I drill through the wall of this house? I'm like, sure, yeah, go ahead. Yeah. It's like, you want to talk to the landlord? I'm like, no. Landlord didn't seem to give a shit. It's fucking, now the guy's drilling through the wall. He's coming anyway. Like, it's just crazy that that's the same price. Like, just plugging it in.
Yeah.
And bringing a cable from 50 yards away.
That's the problem.
That's the same price.
That's exactly, and that's what he's getting paid the same either way, probably. So there's his afternoon gone.
Gone.
That's a major construction job now.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you have to be good at both internet and like manual labor. I mean, to me it seems like just parking the thing, like being able to having to park your truck everywhere.
Yeah.
There's no space, and it just seems like a high stress job.
Yeah, but
I think
I would say that most of the time it's the old lady scenario where he shows up, probably. He plugs it in, see you later, makes his whatever it is, $50, $100, and he's on to the next one.
Yeah, well, most places got coax.
Exactly.
And you don't even have like the movie Cable Guy with Jim Carrey. Remember where he sort of like falls in love with Matthew Broderick, basically?
Yes.
And I think the quid pro quo is that he gave Matthew Broderick like free channels, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And so Matthew Broderick felt like a little bit in debt to him.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't happen anymore.
Nah.
I kind of was like, remember the old days when people would tell you, if the Cable Guy comes, if you slip him a 50, he'll give you Cinemax. Yeah. I don't know. Did you ever do that?
Never, ever.
Yeah, I never
didn't
had the balls to.
Yeah.
And this is a very random question I was just reminded. I wanted to ask you this. You know how I chew gum a lot, right?
Sure. Same.
Okay.
I love gum.
You love it. Underrated, honestly.
Did I say this on the... I can't remember what's real life or not, but I was at a friend's house.
Well, this is real life.
Yeah. No, I know, but did I say this on the show before? But I was at an adult friend's house. Not that I have a lot of kid friends. And I was like, hey, where's your garbage? Because I want to spit my gum out. And she was like, you chew gum? Like, I'm like, yeah.
We can't enjoy anything anymore.
Like, as if it was like I mean, it wasn't a negative thing. It was just like, I did not know that about you. And it's like, how is that a character trait? It's not a thing. You know?
Like, what do you want me to swallow it, lady? And then a gum tree is going to grow inside me? As the legend goes.
No, she was just like, wow, a grown man that chews gum. And it's just like, yeah, I guess. I mean, never thought of it before. Anyways.
Okay, here's how she should have reacted. Tell me that you want to spit out your gum.
Hey,
throw out your gum.
Where's your garbage? I just want to spit out my gum real quick.
Did we just become best friends? Now, what kind of gum do you chew? You go blister pack?
Oh.
You go sort of more of a go gum, a high intensity mint, a midnight, almost like an anise licorice flavor that's a burst of fresh breath. You go for a more leisurely chew, my friend, a juicy fruit. Are you a cinnamon cat? Are you that crazy? You like the burn?
Yeah.
You like the cocaine of gum?
Only on the holidays does the cinnamon get broken up. But most of the time, I'm the strongest possible. Like the fisherman's friends of gum. Like, that's what I want.
Yeah, me too. Okay, so here's my question. In a blister pack, which I'm assuming that's what you buy, because that's typically where the strongest gum, because, they got to seal that up,
Yeah.
They can't just have that leaking out.
That's right.
How do you take out a piece of gum from the pack?
Okay, from a blister pack, I will... Yeah, is this a trick question?
No, it's not.
I feel like I'm going to get judged again, like I was judged for chewing gum in the first place.
I've already established I would never do that to you.
I press it from the blister. So the gum is
I'm actually more
out.
saying, like, where are you taking the first piece from? The front or the back?
What's the difference? It's open
are you
on both
pulling
sides.
it up or are you pushing it through?
Okay. I think I'm pulling it out because most of the time I do the maneuver while it's still in my pocket. You know what I mean? So
so you're pulling it up. Okay, so that's the first piece.
Yeah.
Now, let's say the next day you go back for another sweet treat.
Yeah.
Where are you taking the next piece from?
It's got to be the one right next to it.
Okay, thank you. See, I knew we were aligned.
If it isn't, then the whole thing is thrown off. Like
I agree.
Yeah. I can't handle having it, missing pieces and just moving towards the center. It's like squeezing a tube of toothpaste in the middle of it instead of the bottom.
Yeah. I think the only acceptable debate is pull up or push through. That's like your hang the toilet paper at the front, hang the toilet paper at the back. But what Jill's doing, because I have given her what, I think you will recognize as quite an honor. When she has her purse...
Oh.
And I don't have pocket space.
She carrying that gum?
She is the keeper of the chew.
Wow, Jill.
Yeah.
This is for Jill. Congratulations, Jill. Congratulations.
The amount of trust I have in this woman. It's astounding.
Incredible.
But then she betrayed me because I asked for a piece of gum that I bought.
Yeah.
And
but she's carrying.
She pulled the thing out. That thing fucking looked like Swiss cheese, man.
Oh, she's just taken from the middle? Like, just...
She's taken hither and dither. Like, from the middle, then the end, then the other side. Like, what, why? What's the purpose of this? She's like, well, I just pull it out, and then wherever my fingers go, We're trying to live in a society. Anyways, I think what I realized, and actually... this wouldn't have worked out given that I am with Jill and we're very happy together. First date test. You give the girl a pack of gum from the blister.
Right.
And if she pulls from the middle of the pack,
that's it.
You're not going on a second date.
Oh, God, no.
No.
Thankfully,
I didn't do that.
Well, how chaotic is your life? Because it sounds like you're in for some chaos over there. You got blind dogs. You got deaf cats
dog.
And
deaf dog, deaf cat, and then one cat that can hear but is a recluse. I was just saying last night, this cat's life would be better. I mean, knock on wood, this cat's life would be better if it was deaf because it's the most skittish cat.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's skittish from Jill, who's owned the cat since it was a kitten. It's like we walk in the door, it's like, oh fuck. And then even if, like, fine, like, who knows who's coming through the door, but, like, if I go to the bathroom
Yeah.
and she is, like, walking between the couch and the litter box and I come out of the bathroom, she'll go, bah! And, like, run under something. I'm like, babe.
Yeah.
It's just me.
Well, to be fair to the cat, you're describing the relationship I have with my wife, because every time I walk into a room, I scare the shit out of her somehow, which is great and hilarious.
Are you saying boo?
Not very often, but sometimes I will sidle up on purpose to scare the shit out of her. But yeah, she's very easily startled. So maybe.
Well, speaking of your precious TikToks that you love watching, this is like a whole genre, like husband and wife pranking each other.
Yeah.
I
don't want to get divorced, so we're not.
No, I know. I'm like,
that.
I look at all these people, I'm just like, so the prank is that you're an asshole?
Yeah.
And we've talked about pranks on the show before. We don't need to talk about pranks. Some quick housekeeping. Join our Patreon, patreon.com/isthisgood. We did have our Patreon live stream hangout last Thursday. It was a banger indeed. I mean, the thing that sticks out in my mind is young Pep Dash. True to his word, drank 2 2-liter bottles of soda. Again, 2 2-liter bottles of soda. I did not stutter. That is 4 liters of soda in an hour. And you might think, like, why? Like, oh, he chugged it? No. I somehow he was just, like, drinking at a regular pace.
Yeah.
And talking at times.
Yep.
And yet he drank 4 liters of bubbly soda. And he wasn't muted, and we weren't hearing him burp.
No. His camera did go off, though, a couple of times, I think, to make some room.
There's missing footage here. There's some deleted Mar-a-Lago scenes here.
I am not questioning his integrity whatsoever, except to say, and I think he admitted it on the stream, that he took a couple of pee breaks. That's all.
Oh, he took a couple pee breaks. God. Well,
yeah.
If I wasn't hosting it, I would have taken 2 to 3 pee breaks during that. And JD was not as drunk in this one as he was in the last one.
No, but far more entertaining. And we had some secrets revealed, so that was only for the pee hounds. So I revealed.
Honestly, was I there? I don't even know what you're saying.
I revealed what Trey and I were fighting about that night in Vegas.
Oh yes.
There were a couple of other little tidbits dropped for our precious pee hounds.
Our precious pee hounds. And speaking of our precious pee hounds, we started Furry Fridays in the Discord.
Yes.
And so basically it's just came up with this idea on the Hangout. Anyone that's a pee hound can join this if you're in the Discord, which anyone can be. You just there's a new channel and you just post a picture of your pet.
Yeah.
On Friday, and it was a great success. You posted a picture of you with 2 giant dogs on top of you, and I was wondering how hard was it for you to take that picture? Not from a wrangling the dogs point of view or fitting the dogs on the couch point of view, but of you touching your hated dog Cosmo. Oh,
I was very annoyed that Cosmo was there. That picture was taken by Rachel, who is also a pee hound, and she posted that photo. It was. I love my one dog, who she brings out the best of me. That's Hazel, and then Cosmo brings out the worst of me. But they were asking for pictures of Cosmo, so I posted one, and then they were both on me. Like, it was like that scene in E.T. when E.T. is hiding amongst the stuffed animals. And I was E.T., and then they are the animals around. That's what it looks like.
It was very cute.
Oh, thanks.
And go to isthisgoodpod.com if you want to get some merch. It's summertime. People are out in T-shirts.
Still my best shirt.
These are only 4-day weeks you can wear a T-shirt. We all know that, okay? So this is the time to buy it. Send me emails, isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Could always use some good emails, some good topics, some good settle thises, anything you want. Actually, someone sent me an email and gave me an idea. Maybe I'm going to tell you this now so I don't forget, because this is in December. So this person said that they had a lot of Is This Good style topics because when it gets close to Christmas, the whole year they collect a list of grievances.
Okay, yeah.
And then at Christmas, they send them out to family and friends. And he was like, oh, so that's why I have so many. So I'm just going to send you a bunch of them. And I was like, you know what? That's a good idea. We should when it comes to December, we should get everyone to email in their, biggest grievance of the year or whatever. Just any grievance they've had.
Sure.
And that'll be the theme of the episode. We'll just go through people's grievances, and then we'll discuss, like, well, is this actually bad, or is it good, or
I like it.
How aggrieved should these people be?
Right. That's Festivus, right?
Yeah, that's
the airing of grievances.
And I will credit the person that. Well, see, they didn't really give me the idea. Do I still need to credit them?
Well,
what do you think?
That's the.
They inspired the idea. They were my muse.
Okay. That's.
But the problem is I don't have that name in front of me because I wasn't.
Well, we'll credit them when we do the episode.
Yeah. So they'll wait 6 months for that. That's great.
5 months now, I guess. It's August.
Subscribe on YouTube. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Okay, that is it for housekeeping. So the first thing I wanted to talk to you about is this story caught my eye. It dovetails with a lot of our interests. Mm-hmm. This is the headline. Lotto
Sucking
winner
and fucking, those interests?
No. It could be about shitting and pissing, JD.
You're right. Carry on.
All right, so this is the headline. Lotto winner who won almost $200 million a decade ago angers neighbors by planning another celebratory festival. So this was, it was like, so this implies they've had this celebratory festival before. So it's this couple, Adrian and Gillian Bayford. This is in the UK.
Yeah.
Or, somewhere in England.
Yeah.
They won about $188 million in a lotto in 2012, and they hosted a mini Glastonbury festival in their backyard to celebrate. By the way, their backyard. You see, this is an estate, okay?
Yeah.
It's a giant thing. They called it the Cambridge Rock Festival, previously known as the Rockin' Beer Fest. Rockin' Beer Fest, one word. What is this, in Germany? It takes place on their estate in Cambridgeshire. Could this story get any more fucking British?
Yeah, I know, right?
Mini Glastonbury, Cambridgeshire. Rockin' Beer Fest. All right. So here's the problem. The locals, and you got to figure, like, this is a real King Ralph situation.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Was that John Goodman?
Yeah, a very timely reference. So, sort of maybe people from a different class, perhaps a bit uncouth to the aristocracy.
Yeah, it's
buying
new
this
money.
giant estate.
It's new money.
Yeah, new money. So people were pissed about the intolerable levels of noise and severe disturbance of peace. But it is a headline now because they were having trouble with the permitting. But they got the permitting. The festival is a go. I just want you to help. Well, sorry, go ahead?
It's a go for 2024.
It's a go for 2024, yeah.
Right.
We'll have to wait. So, speaking of which, I just saw a headline like Taylor Swift continues Eras tour in Toronto. And I'm like, oh, I didn't realize she was going to Toronto. That's so cool. And it was like in November. I was like, God damn, that's soon. That's so exciting she's playing like, I think she's playing like I think she's playing 6 shows. Is that possible?
I mean, it's definitely possible.
When you're Taylor Swift, anything is possible. I just 6 nights. Anyways, it turns out that's 2024.
Wow.
Yeah. So you could have your choice. You could go see Taylor Swift in Toronto, or you could go to the Rockin' Beer Fest in Cambridgeshire.
I would 100% rather go. No offense to the Swifties out there. I don't want to get them on us, but I'd rather go to Rockin' Beer Fest. 100%.
Okay, help me deconstruct this sentence in the article.
Okay.
The event offers a pay-what-you-can-afford full festival ticket starting at $165 US.
Yeah.
The event offers a pay-what-you-can-afford full festival ticket starting at $165 US.
Right. I read the same thing and I was like, what is this?
It reminds me of like we once went on a school trip and we were at this gag stores like a Spencer's Gifts type thing, and there was a card, at the impulse section at the front of the store, and it said, "This is an idiot card. Turn over to read more." And then you turned it over and it said, "This is an idiot card. Turn over to read more."
Right.
The idea being that you're so stupid you keep flipping back and forth going, "Well, no, we're almost trying to read more." Okay, again. The event offers a pay-what-you-can-afford full festival ticket starting at... If it's pay-what-you-can-afford, how does it start at $165?
Yeah. I take that to mean that that's the minimum you can pay. If that's all you can afford, then you can pay the minimum, but please pay us more, I guess.
Okay, well, then you shouldn't call it pay-what-you-can-afford. And if you've won $108 million... How the fuck are you charging $165 to see bands in your backyard?
There's no names either. They're just bands. They're bar bands from what I can tell.
Yeah.
Get out of here. These
Like
people.
he's trying to make money on it?
Well, they're probably trying to, I guess they are trying to make money because I'm looking at a picture here and there's like food stalls, like a burger bar and.
Yeah, it looks like a real thing.
Yeah. So
they're like, yeah, he's not catering it. Let's put it that way. He's not. It doesn't even sound like he's subsidizing it.
I just don't.
Because again, he's not hiring like Frank Ocean, which after Coachella debacle, maybe you don't want to. Oh Jesus! Speaking of getting Taylor Swift fans angry, getting Frank Ocean fans angry, that might be worse.
Oh, are they worse? Really?
Well, they're sort of. There's less of them, but they're more intense in a way.
Well, so what happened with Frank Ocean? He went over the.
We're not. I don't want to talk. You want to talk about Coachella, JD?
Well, I don't know. I thought I just
that happened months ago. I want to talk to you about a festival in Cambridgeshire.
Okay.
Not the festival in California that everybody knows that hosts the biggest names in rock and pop music.
Right.
Okay, so my question is, what if you were starting your own festival in your backyard? What would you want to have at it? I don't know, like if you want to go specific bands or just a general vibes. What would you have at it?
Well, I would have, getting back to our conversation with Trey from this week's episode that dropped on Monday, I'd have cover bands, like one hit one, like the Yacht Rock guys or Neon Queen. They're a local ABBA tribute band, so it's all tribute bands.
That's so interesting you say that. A friend of ours here just went on tour. They're trying to get into the music industry, right?
Okay.
And they just went on tour with FABA.
Oh, FABA.
An ABBA cover band from the UK. Apparently they're really good. Did a big Pacific Northwest swing.
Really?
So if FABA's coming to your town, you should see them. Honestly, it looks really good.
I don't know if they're allowed in this town because Neon Queen is the Atlanta.
Why would you call your cover band of ABBA the name of another popular band? I mean...
Neon Queen? Oh, Queen. Right. Yeah, that's their second biggest problem. Their first biggest problem is their version of Winner Takes It All is awful. But other than that, they're great.
Why are you giving them so much pub? FABA kills Winner Takes It All.
Fuck it, I didn't know about FABA. Send them.
Yeah, and they're from the UK. So that's way closer to Sweden.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Than Georgia. Anyways, I think that is a good idea because if you can't afford to get mainstream acts, get cover bands. Just make it fun. That's all people want is to sing and hang out.
Yeah.
I mean, though, for $165. I ain't paying to hang out in your backyard and listen to
FABA.
FABA was worth $165.
Okay.
My only request to this fella would be, let me use the bathroom inside the estate, inside your house, for $165. I shouldn't have to use a porta potty.
Yeah. By the way, this would be a private event. No strangers are coming to this.
Right. No tickets, no strangers.
No, yeah, exactly. It's just friends and family. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean,
really, this is what is. So if I go to someone's wedding and they have a tent in their backyard, sometimes people do that.
Yeah.
And they have a wedding band.
Yeah.
Can they say they had a music festival in their house?
Absolutely not. They can say they had a wedding at their house.
And generally, those people are letting you use the bathroom inside the house.
Yeah. That's right.
Okay. So this festival fucking sucks. Well, anyways, I'm about to blow your mind. I'm about to fucking blow the whole roof off this very news story that we're talking about. Because I was reading the story. The first place I saw it was the New York Post.
Yeah. And
as I was prepping for the show, I kind of was like, wait, why am I reading about a UK story in an American newspaper?
Yeah, fair.
The UK press is famously insane. So I'm sure they'll have interviews with his fancy neighbors that are pissed off at him because the sound's too loud, right? So I just Google his name. All right. First story that comes up is from The Sun, the venerable,
one of the original tablet.
Okay, this is the headline, okay? Inside the tragic story of Euro Millions couple who won £148 million before devastating twist. Are you intrigued?
I am.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not really that funny. But anyways, here we go. So the first part's okay.
So let me guess. Hold on. Let me guess.
Okay,
they lost all the money.
You'll never be able to guess. You will. I promise you, you will never be able to guess.
Okay, well, this is my guess. They blew all the money. They have their they bought their estate. They have a helicopter. I see in this New York Post article, and they're out of money. So they actually need the money. That's why they're running this festival.
Oh, interesting. They're trying to raise funds through this music festival. No, that's not. Okay, here we go. So there's 3 twists. First one, not much of a twist. 15 months after they win, they separate.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Which the New York Post story shows pictures of the couple together.
Yeah,
so
they're,
it's like
they're kissing in the photo I'm looking at.
I know.
Right
it's
now.
almost like they didn't do the reporting.
What? The New York Post?
So this woman, Jillian, separates from her husband.
Yeah.
She marries Brian. Why is this of note? Brian is a convicted fraudster. He was locked up 6 years ago for stealing thousands from Tesco, the it's like a British supermarket chain.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was putting through fake customer refunds. Okay. Jillian knows about this. They asked her, "Did you make him sign a prenup? Because considering he's a fraudster," she said, "That's none of your business." Quote. I'm going to read it in what I think Jillian's voice is.
Okay.
It was 6 years ago, and he's been punished for being silly. It's being silly. He's convicted fraudster.
Yeah.
I think he went to jail. I don't think you can call that silly.
How silly? You went to jail for defrauding Tesco.
Oh, you think that his defense in court was like, the barrister was like, "Your Honor, he was merely being cheeky."
Totally.
And then the defense was like, "Cheeky? I think it was more silly." All right, that's a lost fucking Monty Python sketch that got cut for time. Anyway, all right, so that's one part of the weird. So they get separated. Mm-hmm. She marries a fraudster, didn't make him sign a prenup, so I don't think that's going to end well. Here's the not funny part. He, I think, gets broken up with 4 times, tries to sell the house, can't sell the house. And again, you saw from the pictures, this giant property,
it's
right?
Sprawling. It's ridiculous.
Again, lose your smile. This is the not funny part.
Okay.
I'm reading quote here. The couple's misery didn't end there, as their son was left fighting for his life after a horrific quad bike accident.
Ugh.
The son revealed that in September 2021, then 13-year-old Cameron had been hit by a car.
Okay.
This long pauses for effect. Had been hit by a car driven by his sister.
I'm not laughing.
I told you it's not funny. The sister, keep in mind, the kid driving the quad bike is 13 years old, hit by a car driven by his sister who's 15 years old, who did not have a license to drive because you don't need a license, apparently, to drive on a private lands.
Right.
So she was driving a car on private lands, like, I guess, I don't know, practicing, whatever, hits her brother, who's driving a 4-wheeler.
Right.
And now they're throwing a music festival. Buy your tickets now. $165. Pay what you can, but if you can't pay $165, then we don't want you here. Even though I have $108 million.
So is the kid, is he alive? Like, did he survive?
Yeah, I think so. But also, is this the time to be throwing a celebratory music festival?
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
So it just goes to show you, it's like you find something that you're like, oh, this is a quirky little story. You scratch like one little bit beneath the surface, and it's like, it stinks. Stinks to high heaven.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So now, has you changed your mind? Are you willing to go see Taylor Swift in Toronto? A ticket that you certainly could not get, and even if you did, would cost you probably $2,500.
You think it would cost that much? $2,500?
Yes. If you on the secondary market, yes. Canadian, CAD.
Yeah.
Now, you're getting a 30% discount using the almighty American greenback.
True. Yeah, I guess I'm going to. I don't want to support this festival anymore, so I'm in on Swift.
Okay, now if they book FABA, whole other story.
That's a completely different scenario.
Yeah, I will keep checking back to see if it booked bathroom. All right, comment of the week. So here's where the nostalgia kicks in, JD. We talked about bathroom books. People went nuts. People were like, bathroom? I mean, I haven't seen a bathroom book in years.
Yeah.
Daniel Babylin wrote a comment and he said, I miss them so much. Even after I had grown up, the feeling of taking a dump while reading a comic book, unparalleled. Bring back comic books in all bathrooms. I'll gladly stop scrolling on my phone. P.S. I'm currently tweeting from the bathroom. So it's like, you know, we always hear about like all this 90s nostalgia. It's like people are like, oh, Blockbuster. Oh, remember renting films? No Fear t-shirts or co-ed naked t-shirts. Or,
right.
Oh, remember when we used to make mixtapes? But you never hear about bathroom books. And I think it's time we add them to the list of 90s nostalgia.
Totally. 100%. Yeah. But you mean it's really easy to bring them back. Just put a book in your bathroom or a magazine in your bathroom.
It's that easy.
It is that easy, right?
You know what's hard to do? Start a Blockbuster.
That's hard.
You gotta buy land. You gotta buy the sign. You gotta buy all those VHS
videos,
tapes.
Yeah.
You gotta buy 15 copies of Mrs. Doubtfire. But book in a bathroom? We all have books in our house. We're just keeping them in the wrong place.
Exactly.
It's as if in 30 years from now, all the bookshelves were full of toilet paper. And then someone goes on a podcast like, remember when we used to keep toilet paper in the bathroom? That's what it'd be like.
Yeah.
Don't stop to think about that, okay? Just plow through. Doesn't really make any sense. Remember we came up with an idea on the show of a bathroom book with poops in it, like different kind of poops, and then you could check them off. Mm-hmm. And then that became the Pokemon bathroom book, Gotta Flush Them All.
Yeah.
So Shaggy Bones commented on YouTube and said, bathroom book that's only pictures of poop already exists, and it was gifted to my family.
Ew.
It's titled, What Is Your Poo Telling You?
Huh.
It's sketches, but still. So I guess we're not getting that book deal. And I don't know what my poo's I don't want to know what my poo's telling me.
Yeah, but
I think my poo's telling me you're doing a great job, man.
Yeah, it's informative though, because you could look right in the toilet and you know, if there's something happening, you got a reference book right there. I don't know.
What's happening? I mean, there's never anything happening.
Hopefully, not.
There's either I ate an entire extra large meat lovers by myself. I don't need the toilet to tell me that.
Do you have, when you take a dump, do you have like, oh, yep, that's the meat lovers right there. Like, do you have that sort of connection, that bodily awareness,
that mind-body connection,
where it goes in, what goes in is coming out, and you can identify it as it's coming out? Like, is that something
This is disgusting even for me, JD. You've disgusted me. I mean, sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Certain things we all know.
Yeah. Things that you have. It's like, oh.
Nevertheless, they persisted. Nevertheless, they never mind.
Yeah, no, I like it. No. There's something there.
I bailed.
There's something.
No, there's nothing there. There's nothing there.
Absolutely something.
There is. I promise you, sir, there is nothing there. I was going to ask you, is there anything from the 90s you're nostalgic for? Like that's maybe a little bit off the board that's not mixtapes and blockbusters?
I mean, I did like the 90s. I will say that.
Oh, disposable cameras?
I mean, sure, yeah.
Those are kind of coming back, though.
Are they?
Yeah, because it's like
kitschy?
retro.
It's retro.
Kitschy little retro.
Okay.
Like even like Polaroids are back.
Okay, well, in the 90s, actually, Polaroids tried to make a comeback. They had little mini Polaroids.
Yeah,
remember that?
That's what's big right now. That's what's big. The smallies.
Why?
Why are they small?
Why are they trying to come back? I don't understand.
Well, cause I guess the instant gratification. Like I was just at a wedding where they had a camera and you could take pictures, and then the couple kept them and put them in a scrapbook.
Right.
Put it at the bottom of a drawer, never to be looked at again. Actually, what was funny, we took a picture of ourselves, and then we were like, God damn it, this picture is good. We should probably keep this one. So we pocketed that one.
A little mini Polaroid.
Yeah, a little mini Polaroid.
Okay.
Took another picture. Because, I mean, it's not like we're ever going to see pictures of ourselves at this wedding.
Right.
Maybe on the internet or something.
Yeah.
Took another picture. Then I was like, you know what? I really like this one. if you're keeping the other one, I want to keep this one. So then we had to go take a third picture, and we were like, oh yeah, this picture sucks. All right, let's give it.
Yeah.
This is the one we'll give to them. As you know, JD, it is the summer of dunks.
Yes.
We had Skeets on.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had Trey.
We did.
We're going to have Tass, but he's on vacation.
Yes.
So this week, we do have someone from the No Dunks universe that we've never interviewed before. As you already alluded, I'm pretending you didn't already say this.
Okay. Some people might be jumping in right now.
Yeah, that's true. Classic. His name is Cam Stewart, but you may know him as the voice of this.
Swim up bar, looking good.
That's Cam Stewart, and he's on the show. And we got to the bottom of Swim Up Bar Looking Good.
We did.
Yep. We found its origin story. So you will definitely want to listen to that. That's coming out on August 7th. As you said, listen to the Trey episode that already came out. And hey, here's another pitch for the show. My mom wrote in with a question and we asked it.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Miriam. Shout out to Miriam.
So you can turn it off now if you don't want to hear about Mission Impossible 7 Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Okay.
One of the worst movie titles of all time.
So your spoiler, this is a spoiler alert.
There's spoilers, but again, like, I find it difficult to conceive of that you could spoil this movie. But yeah, we're going to spoil this movie in 3, 2, 1. Ethan Hunt dies.
Well,
Just kidding.
he better.
Oh, you want him to die in
And
Dead
the
Reckoning
next one?
too?
Yeah, absolutely. He's going. He has to.
Why
He
do you
has
think
to.
so? Why do you think he's going to die?
Well, they're laying it on a little thick with the. Don't worry, whatever happens, your life is way more valuable than mine. The fucking. What about the?
Interesting.
Isn't the key the MacGuffin like? Isn't it literally a cross? Like, there's a lot of Jesus in this movie. Like.
Okay, so I remember you told me before I went to see it that you thought there were a lot of Fast and Furious comps. Is the Jesus stuff cross part of it?
Well, it's hey, you they've sort of retconned the whole thing where, we didn't know that Ethan Hunt was a criminal before he became an agent for the IMF, right? And it turns out that all of them were. And that's
hold on, I do need to jump in and just say one quick thing. Mission Impossible 7 Dead Retconning. Okay, that was killing me, JD. I needed to say it.
I love it. Continue. Yeah. No. Yeah, everybody, I mean, when we meet Luther for the first time, he has been disavowed for sure. But Benji, we didn't know he had a past and that there was a choice to be made. And once you joined this family,
so this is the first episode with this whole choice idea.
Certainly, from Ethan's point of view, like I said, Luther, when we meet him in 1, he has been disavowed, but then they bring him back.
Disavowed by Arby's?
Disavowed by the IMF, which they threaten to do every mission. To be fair, every single.
There's
mission.
always a mole.
Right.
Well, okay, so. Speaking of every mission, I listened to a podcast with Christopher McHugh.
Yeah.
He said in it that Tom Cruise has 3 unbreakable rules for every Mission Impossible. Do you know what they are?
I have no idea.
3 things that have to happen in the movie.
Yeah. He has to run.
I've told this to people, literally every fucking person says that. No, that's not one of the 3 rules. He has to get a mission that self-destructs.
Okay. Yeah. The smoke. It looks cool.
There has to be a title sequence with the fuse, with the theme music.
With scenes of the actual movie
I don't remember if he specifically said that. Though, honestly, that bothered me because it had a scene. It had a scene from the movie that I had yet to see. Like, because we knew from the marketing of the movie that, you remember they showed us, like, Tom Cruise riding the bike off the cliff.
Yeah, we saw it.
They showed that
1,000 times
in the intro before it had happened.
Yeah,
it was like I was like, isn't it enough that I already know this is going to happen because you already showed me, and you've ruined the movie magic by showing me how it's done? Now you're showing me something from the movie that hasn't even happened yet.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but they do that. They do that every movie, though.
Oh, they do. I guess I've never noticed it before.
It's their
because I've never known what's coming.
Right. Yeah.
I just figure, it's something I forgot from a past film.
Not only had I seen probably 100 times the big stunt, the one that Tom Cruise does, and that is he rides a bike off of a mountain. But I've also somehow seen the making of that stunt before I've even seen the movie. Like the ramp that they build.
Yeah, of course. That was their whole marketing plan for the movie.
It was a whole thing. It was like, here's Tom Cruise. Like, okay, we know it's Tom Cruise. And I actually didn't even care that much, but you knew it was coming. What really bothered me about it was that it was a joke, and they stepped on the joke. That's what really, really bothered me once I saw the movie.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
because
you mean by stepping on it by showing that he was going to do that before?
Yeah, as soon as we knew that he was going after as soon as we saw him on the fucking mic.
You're 100% right.
Yeah,
how about do we go? I mean, I don't want to fucking be Nicole Kidman here, but we go to the cinema for surprise, don't we?
We do. We do.
Not to hear a joke that we already know the punchline to.
Exactly right. And we didn't know it was a joke. I mean, the stunt is whatever. And the stunt was still amazing to see on the big screen, and it was really fun. But it's definitely a quibble that I had. It was like, you stepped on the joke, because if you didn't know that was coming and you knew that he was trying to find that train, like, fucking hilarious. Like, that's actually hilarious. Where's the train, Benji? Where's the train? It's right next to you. It's like at the bottom of a fucking valley, and he has to jump off of a mountain to get to the train. That is actually a hilarious joke.
I hadn't even something was bothering me about it, and I had not put my finger on it, but you are 100% right. And I'm going to also give you a minority opinion here. I think it's like cool as hell that Tom Cruise is doing all these stunts. I mean, he's obviously a crazy person, but it's amazing no one else is doing these things.
Yeah.
But in the scene when he's just driving the motorcycle before it gets to the canyon jump, guess what? It just looks like a guy riding a motorcycle.
You're right.
Through a field, and he's doing these little jumps that are no bigger than like what you see a dirt biker, like the average dirt biker do.
Yeah.
And they've taken such great pains to be like, he's actually doing this. That I'm like, but it's not that cool.
Yeah.
It looks like a guy who is like pretty good at riding a motorcycle.
Yeah.
But you know what would be cooler? Fucking a guy that's like the best stunt guy at riding a motorcycle ever, doing these huge leaps, or that in combination with like good CGI or practical effects or something.
Yeah. Totally.
Like, I don't want it to look like Tom Cruise in a field.
Right.
And I also think that, like, frankly, if it's not for above and beyond marketing purposes, because I think it is great marketing to say Tom Cruise is actually doing these things. Look, we're going to show you that he's actually doing it, so that when you're watching the movie, you're actually going like, wow, that's really Tom Cruise. But there's nothing about that scene that needed Tom Cruise to actually, in one take, drive off a cliff and then, open his parachute down on the other side.
Yeah.
Because they scrub out the ramp, obviously, so it makes it look like he's just driving on dirt and grass, when really, we all know that he was driving on a wooden ramp.
Yep.
Okay. So it's not real.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then they cut to, and then he's in the air. So, like, it would just have been so easy to cut around that, or to, like, roto his face on one scene. Or one scene, you film him driving the motorcycle, and then just before he gets to the edge, he stops. Right. And then another scene, him skydiving. Lord knows he's skydived a billion times.
Yeah.
And then you put that... It's not like there aren't cuts in it. I just don't understand why it's so... It didn't make a difference to me in terms of the movie. And in fact, it detracted from it because parts of it didn't look that cool. Mm-hmm. And like you said, it stepped on the joke. I didn't realize I had this strong opinions about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair to Tom... It is kind of cool that he does these things.
Yeah, it's fucking cool as hell. But that's what I'm saying. Does cool equate to the best movie experience?
Right, yeah. You're right. Yeah.
No.
Not really. Not really, in the end.
So his third rule is there has to be at least one mask gag.
Oh, really? They're really married to the masks, eh?
He's really... And McHugh is, like, rolling his eyes. McHugh does not like the masks. He's like, it doesn't really make any sense when you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, no shit. Okay, so it is funny that you said something about him running.
Yeah.
Because I'd listened to this on a podcast. I think the podcast was called Script Apart. But I wanted to make sure I had the three right. So I was like, surely someone's aggregated this from the podcast. So I looked up, like, Mission Impossible Tom Cruise rules. And the only thing that came up over and over was this thing called the Tom Cruise no running rule.
Okay.
So this is... He apparently will not allow anyone in a movie to run with him. He's the only one that's allowed to... Like, people can run, but they can't be running with him.
Yeah. because everybody is taller than him and probably faster than him.
Okay, so I'm gonna read you something from like. So at first I started with like one of these dumb like internet fan sites that's called like People Watch or I don't know whatever. So Annabelle Wallis, who I guess was in The Mummy, which I did not remember Tom Cruise was in The Mummy.
Well, the remake.
One of the Mummies.
The remake, yeah.
All right, so Annabelle expressed her desire to run on screen with Cruise. She was met with a firm no. Huh. Didn't even realize they made a pun. Firm. Mission Impossible stars no running rule does not permit his co-stars to sprint alongside him in scenes. Wallace, however, was not one to back down easily. She took it upon herself to prove her running prowess to him, timing her treadmill sessions to coincide with his presence, Wallace revealed. This determination led to the addition of running scenes in the movie, a feat Wallace equates to being, quote, better than an Oscar. I was like, this cannot be true. So I go and I'm like, I need to find an actual news source. So I found an article about it in The Guardian.
Okay.
So it says, in part, in Vanilla Sky, he ran alone. In Minority Report, he ran alone. In Mission Impossible film, he runs alone. In War of the Worlds, people tried to run with him, but aliens vaporized them for their insubordination. In Collateral, he chases after people a lot alone and always catches them. So I'm like, oh, wow, this is true. And then I get to the last paragraph, and it's like, nah, it's not true. In Jack Reacher 2, someone runs with him.
Oh, okay.
Like, okay. And I guess in The Mummy. So,
yeah, there you go.
It's not true.
Oh, thank God, because I was like, I'm going to have to go back and watch every fucking Tom Cruise movie just to see if this is true.
Back to the actual movie itself. Would you agree way too much entity talk?
Yeah.
Like, to get back to the start of the podcast with the AI, so the villain in this is AI. Mm-hmm. Un-AI.
What do they call it? The
entity.
That's what they call it?
Am I wrong?
No, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, well, anyways.
Carry on.
All right, so it's an AI that's gone rogue. It's become sentient. Mm-hmm. Fucking Skynet, whatever.
Yeah.
But there's, I swear to God, like 3 different long speeches where they explain what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this doesn't really make sense, so I would much prefer you to say, the AI has turned on us, it's sentient, and it's like, it's a supercomputer, it knows what we're going to do, and it's trying to kill us because it wants power, or whatever it is. That's enough. Hand wave it away.
Is it enough, though? Because
it's enough for me, because half this movie is them talking about the entity and AI, and like Gabriel, and what he is, and I'm like, I don't care.
Right.
I don't care.
I hear what you're saying. But the key thing about the entity is that all the governments want to control it.
But that's a sentence, right? Obviously, in every movie, if there's a nuclear arsenal that's loose, if there's some new super weapon, God's Eye, and Fast and Furious, obviously all governments want to control it.
Yeah.
Because he who controls information controls power.
That's right. I mean, you're 100% right. Because they already know that we know that we're watching a movie. They make such, like, the cheesy thing off the top where McHugh and Cruise are sitting there, like, it's just a shot of them, Tom
Cruise is like, his voice is out. He's
like,
thanks for coming to this movie.
It nearly killed me. That's why I think he's gonna die in the next one.
Honestly, that would be sick if he dies.
Yeah, he has to. If he doesn't die, then what are we doing here? The guy's he's in his 60s. He's probably like, enough is enough. And it's a strong enough franchise, and this was a strong enough outing. And I will say,
yes, for sure.
I loved it. But I didn't. I thought
it doesn't sound like it.
I thought Fallout was better, or whatever the last one. Like much.
Fallout was better. The last one was Fallout, and it was better.
Yeah.
I think this is like in the Rogue Nation. Or what was the one after Rogue Nation? Ghost Protocol. Whichever was the worst of those two, that's where this new one ranks for me.
Okay, that's fair.
So you get back to the Fast and Furious comparisons. Was it that Fast and Furious is all about family, and in this one it's all about friends?
or like an adopted family. But also, they're like the main set piece. The best set piece in Mission Impossible was the Rome sequence. I thought, like,
the car chase
in the small car,
awesome.
And it's just fucking incredible. And then you compare that to the big set piece in Rome with Fast X or whatever, And it's just like, I walked out of I was saying to Lincoln as I was walking, I was like, just the delicious thought of Vin Diesel sitting in the theater watching Mission Impossible 7 and going, fuck, now that's how you do a scene in Rome. You know what I mean? Like, just
oh
like,
my God.
Like, it's like it would be,
It's
I would be mortified.
how much
so
better this movie is.
I know,
it's
yeah.
embarrassing how much better this movie is than any Fast and Furious movie.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's our review of Mission Impossible 7 Dead Retconning, which, if you couldn't tell, we both loved.
Like, loved it. But, you know, there's always quibbles. It's more fun to talk about the quibbles.
It is. And honestly, some things did annoy me. I was going into this. Mission Impossible is probably my favorite franchise going at this point.
Yeah.
Since they stopped making Bourne movies.
Yeah.
So I my hopes were sky high. It has like a higher Rotten Tomatoes, I think, than Barbie or Oppenheimer. So I was like, this movie's crushing. People seem to love it. I'm gonna love it more than anything. And I was kind of like, it was good.
No, it was great.
Better than most.
It was great. It was great.
You know what? I'm saying it was very good. I'm not saying great.
Oh, come on. It's fun. And
okay, it was great.
but I do think that the Cruise is getting ready to pass it on. Pass it on to, what's her name? The new girl? Haley. Is that her name?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Anyway.
He's not passing it on to Elsa, I'll tell you that.
That bummed me
Or
out.
Ilsa, sorry.
Ilsa Faust. Yeah. Rebecca Ferguson. I mean, they had to kill her because she's a female Ethan Hunt. Like,
right.
You know.
Town ain't big enough for the both of us.
It's not big enough.
All right, well, that's Mission Impossible 7. I'm going to see Barbie tonight. As I said, JD, if you see it, we could talk about it.
Fuck. All right.
Did Lincoln or Jackson have any interest in it out of curiosity?
Zero, as far as I know. I think Lincoln was probably interested in doing the Oppen Barbie thing, or what is it called? Barbenheimer.
We talked about it on the show, Barbenheimer.
I know, Barbenheimer. Just for the shits and giggles of it, but yeah. I don't know. I'd feel weird going to see Barbie without seeing Oppenheimer. You know what I mean?
Well, why don't you see Oppenheimer? Because I'm seeing that next Friday. So you got 2 weeks to prepare.
Yeah, maybe I'll see them both.
Okay,
I'll see them both. Perfect. I'll see Barbie, and then we'll talk.
See
about
Barbie
it.
first.
Yeah. We'll talk about it.
Oh my God! There's something I totally forgot to mention.
What?
It's the 1 year anniversary of the show.
Today?
Shit! Now I'm gonna say now people have turned it off. Fuck.
That's all right.
It's the 1 year anniversary of the show.
What? Today? August
It's like
3rd?
if it's not today, it's tomorrow or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary. All right. Well, since no one's listening to this,
Some people are listening.
maybe we'll do a 1 year retrospective some other time.
Okay.
All right, listen to next week's episode coming out on Monday. That's with the great Camp Stewart. I mean, this one is a wild ride. I will say, doing it, I was like, this is great. I loved it. And then when I listened back, I was like, okay, this is funnier than I thought it was.
Yeah. No,
I really enjoyed listening back.
That's great. It's great. I did not. I don't think I say 2 words in this.
You do say 2 words. You say at least 12 words in it. You asked some very trenchant questions of him. But did I? I mean, I didn't say that many words in it either.
He's
kind of wind him up and let him go.
Yeah, he's amazing.
All right, email us at isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Subscribe everywhere. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. Happy anniversary to us. This was JD and Matt reaching out from the great beyond. We'll see you next week.